The age group that I chose to focus on is a female collegiate age student athlete, a female injured athlete, and an everyday female collegiate student. So for age range and diet, their age range would be between 18 and 23 years old. And for diet, they would want to focus on 4 main things. These 4 main things would be proteins, fats, carbohydrates, and vitamins and minerals such as iron and calcium. Starting off with proteins. For proteins, it'll range between student athlete, injured athlete, and collegiate student. Starting off with student athletes should be getting protein intake between 1.2 and 2.0 grams per kilogram per body weight of protein intake every day. For an injured athlete, they should be getting they should have an increase of lean protein to stimulate the healing process. And they should really be focusing on protein-rich foods. Some protein-rich foods are in the chart listed to the right. This consists of eggs, lentils, salmon, beef, and several other items that are listed within this picture. For a collegiate student, it would be important for them to have a protein intake of about 0.8 grams per kilogram per body weight of protein each and every day. And then moving on to fats. For all age range groups, the fat intake should be about 25 to 30% of their daily caloric intake. Trans fats should really be restricted to a minimum, and the main focus of the fats in their diets should be monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, which should be increased. These monounsaturated and polyunsaturated will also increase levels of HDL while decreasing levels of LDL. So they will be increasing their good cholesterol while decreasing their bad cholesterol. And then the picture on the bottom right discusses the unsaturated, saturated, and trans fats. So the unsaturated fats are, as shown in this picture, it says they are healthy fats mainly from fish, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. So those are the very good fats. While the trans fats are artificial fats that are prominently found in highly processed foods. So those are the very bad fats. And then going on to carbohydrate intake. So carbohydrates are the first energy storage of the body. The picture on the right talks about how carbs are directly used for energy. So this talks about how carbs, so you're supposed to intake a very heavy carbohydrate dense meal about 4 hours prior to exercise. This carbohydrate meal then gets turned into glucose molecules within the body. And then those glucose molecules will then go to the muscle cells, which then use those glucose cells for energy. So the recommendation for carbohydrate intake is about 45 to 65% of carbohydrate intake each and every day. So for a student athlete, they should be getting about 6 to 10 grams per kilogram per body weight of carbohydrates. Unfortunately, most are only getting about 5 grams per kilogram per body weight of carbohydrates. So it's really essential for them to increase this carbohydrate level due to their high performance exercises. For injured athletes, they can have a reduction of carbohydrate intake because they're not having as much energy expenditure. They can reduce that great amount of carbohydrate intake. For an everyday collegiate student, it can really vary based on their activity levels. If they are very active, they could have their carbohydrate intake be closer to 65%, where if they are not as active, they could have that intake be closer to about 45%. And then going on to females with vitamins and minerals. So all females should have a great focus on iron intake. Due to blood loss each month, they should really increase iron intake. If they don't have a good amount of iron within their bodies, this could lead to anemia. Anemia can lead to fatigue and lack of energy. Basically, females want to make sure that they increase their high levels of iron-dense foods or increase an iron supplement into their diet. For an injured athlete, it would be really important to take mega doses of vitamin C. Vitamin C is very important in promoting the healing process of muscles, ligaments, and other sprains. It's also really important in increasing the healing process of connective tissues as well. And then for calcium levels are very important for females because they are more likely to develop osteoporosis as they age. So when they're young, it's really important to increase these calcium levels between 1,000 and 1,200 milligrams per day. So then basically to summarize this presentation, it's all about maintaining balance. It's really important for all female collegiate students to get proper nutrition. The main nutritional values that are most important to focus on would be proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And then another essential part of their diet that they should also incorporate into their mindset would be knowing when to take additional supplements when needed. These supplements include vitamin C, iron, and calcium. And then I put a little picture of a healthy eating plate, and it can just be a little informative, helpful tool for female college students when they go to cafeterias and dining halls on kind of how to make a good choice and correct choice while eating in a big setting like that, and how to maintain a proper and balanced eating lifestyle.